Hello everyone, welcome back to another So I've Been Reading. I'm the Rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. Today we have the long-awaited Dragon Ball Part 3, where we covered chapters 114 to 194. And I'm thinking of that off the top of my head because I can't remember. It's been a while since I actually read this part. It's been a couple days, just busy with school and all before I actually got to record it. But I got my notes here, and I've read through them, and I feel like I've remembered the gist of everything. And so I really enjoyed this last little part. I think it was super solid, and just a lot of fun to get through. You know, Dragon Ball has been a fun adventure, and I think especially Akira Toriyama's writing for fights got very good during this part, because it has my favorite fight in all of the Dragon Ball, not counting Z yet. I have a red Z, that's what you call it. We'll get there. But yeah, no. So let's get right into it, into what's been going on. So we start off. This is the second Tenkaichi Budokai that we see. Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, Roshi, Tien, and Chaozu qualify. Chaozu seems to be psychic. He is, I think. Yamcha versus Tien. I think that's how you say his name. That's how Kyle says his name. So that's how I'm going to say his name. Is Tien. So they fight first, and it's an interesting fight. But Yamcha, he loses. like he does. And then Tien breaks his legs. You're like, oh, is Tien going to be like a bad guy here or something? But I thought he might be a villain, but then we learned he's honestly one of my favorite characters now. I really like him. But yeah, no, Yamcha loses. What a surprise. When does he actually do anything? Never, probably. Then we get Roshi versus the wolf guy, who is like a man wolf. And Roshi, yeah, he did destroy the moon, as you do, obviously, because what else are you going to do naturally? But he hypnotizes him into thinking Krillin's bald head is the moon. And then, with that, he turns back into a man. And so Roshi wins, so that's kind of base. And he's Jackie Chun. Then we have Krillin versus Chaozu. And then we get Krillin's wins the math, as my phone put it. And Krillin wins the math, so he does. Krillin does win the math. I can't remember much about these fights. There's so many fights, and they only last for like a chapter or two. It's really hard to remember exactly what happened, especially since I've slept. Since I've read this. And we get Goku versus the one guy that made it 2, and that didn't matter whatsoever because Goku beat him easily. Roshi versus Tien, and Roshi voluntarily lost here. I thought it was interesting. Again, just building up Tien's character here, I really enjoyed it. Then we get Goku versus Krillin. I thought this was a fun little fight. Goku and Krillin finally going at it and whatnot. He's overcome his tail weakness and he wins, and that's a big thing. Goku's tail weakness, because that's like the last like weakness part of him is his tail, and so him overcoming that is like, well, that's kind of base that he does that. And it was cool because Krillin tried to win underhandedly, and that's how Krillin was going to have to win. You can't hold that against him, but it was cool to see Goku still overcome that. We get Goku versus Tien for the championship. I loved this fight, honestly. Of the original Dragon Ball, it's probably my favorite fight. Goku versus young Piccolo at the end is very close, but I still think Goku versus Tien here is absolutely phenomenal. You get to see Goku gets really serious, so he has like a tournament power level and then like a fighting power level, which I thought was interesting. And here's the interesting thing. So this is what Kyle told me about Dragon Ball and kind of how the fights stay interesting, and that yes, they have like these like moves where they can like end stuff really easily if they hit, but one, you have to charge, and then 2, it uses up a ton of energy. And so here Goku is he's saving his energy for a more opportune time. And I was like, that's cool, because it puts in a bit of strategy there. It's like, yeah, if I hit this, but then he could dodge it, or then it'd just be a waste of energy, and they don't want that. So they have to fight lower than they're able to a lot of the time. And I think that's smart. I think it's a good way to create tension in battles. We get to see that Chaozu and the Crane Hermit were interfering by making Goku take hits and stuff. And Tien is fed up with it. He tells them that they're dumb and stupid and they're idiots, and he hates them, and he doesn't want to be an assassin anymore. Wow, he's good, like Roshi said. He still broke Yamcha's leg in the first round, and I just think that's very funny. That doesn't mean he's bad. This just means he's based. That's so true. Yeah, it was a really good fight, and I think Tien destroyed the entire stadium or something. Then they were both up in the air doing stuff. And and then they were falling because they both ran out of energy. But Goku hit a car, which led to him hitting the ground first. But so Tien won the Tenkaichi Budokai, just barely. That's the second time Goku's lost. It was a heartbreaking loss because really he won the fight. But still, it definitely goes to show how strong Goku's gotten. And then Krillin dies, the first of many, I assume. But Krillin dies. He gets killed, I think, by, is it Tambourine? I think it's Tambourine that kills Krillin and takes the Dragon Ball because, the great Demon King Piccolo has revived. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? Then we get Goku gets beaten because he tries to fly after Tambourine, and Tambourine beats him, but he doesn't die. People think he dies. He doesn't. I say people's reaction to Yamcha's death is kind of underwhelming. I mean, I guess later it makes sense because, like, you know, death is something that happens all the time in Dragon Ball Z, apparently. But I still thought it was a little bit underwhelming. Oh well, not like I really care. It was interesting, you know. So the Great Demon King Piccolo. So I had heard of Piccolo, and so it was cool to kind of see, you know, who he is. I know he's Namekian. Namekian. I think that's how you say it. Kyle got on to me last night because I said it Namek. That was just an unconscious thing. The Great Demon King Piccolo has revived and is searching for the Dragon Balls. He wants to Killua the strong people too, because I typed kill and it autocorrected to Killua because I've taken so many notes over Hunter x Hunter. Check out Hunter x Hunter Book Club on Goobers and Screens. Comes out every Monday. Or maybe if you're watching this later, we're on Bleach. I don't know. Lol. Then we get to see, this is where Yajirobe is introduced. I am not too big on Yajirobe. I mean, he's fine, I guess. I just don't really care. Like, he's an interesting enough character. He's a bit annoying, I guess. I don't know how the community views him. That might be a blacklistable opinion, or maybe I'm with the majority there. I don't care for him. You get to see, so he kills Symbol and eats him. That's kind of based. And then Tambourine is killed by Goku, and that's kind of based. And then Piccolo himself comes down because he's like, what's holding up these guys and getting the Dragon Balls? And old Piccolo, fights Goku. And he kills Goku, but not like kills him because he like hits him. He thinks he kills him, but Goku's Dragon Ball saved him. And I was like, well, that's kind of based in it. There we get to see. I think Goku's dead, but he's not. We get to see. Yeah, so I'm trying to reread my notes here. Here we go. So Piccolo versus Roshi. So Piccolo goes to where the rest of the Dragon Balls are. So Roshi has them. Roshi's trying to get them from Piccolo. That's right, because they were trying to collect the Dragon Balls. They needed Piccolos. So Piccolo versus Roshi for the Dragon Balls. It was an interesting enough fight. Roshi knew he couldn't win, so he tried to trap him because his master invented the Mafuba, which is how they trapped Piccolo in the first place, but he died in the process. So Roshi does it, but he misses the rice cooker that Piccolo is trapped in. Lol. And then he dies from the backlash of using the Mafuba. I think that's what it is. And that was interesting, you know. It's Dragon Ball. Deaths don't mean much. Piccolo wishes for youth and gets it. You know, he collects Dragon Ball. Shinron wishes. Shinron does it. Woo, he gets wishes, and then he kills Shinron. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of based, isn't it? It shows that Shinron, you know, he's kind of viewed as an immovable force, but really he's relatively weak in the grand scheme of things. Because Piccolo, I mean, sure, in Earth terms, was insanely strong, but I know once we get later into Dragon Ball, he's pretty insanely weak, especially this Piccolo. I'm not even getting into younger Piccolo that we see later fight Goku and be on a somewhat even level with him, at least until later. When we kill Shenron, which I was like, that's kind of whack. The Dragon Balls are out of commission. So actually, this is information that we got earlier, but we see that it's Pilaf and his crew. I don't even know the names. I don't know if they're ever said. They're the ones that revived Piccolo in the first place, and they're like, oh, we want to take over the world, and whenever you do that, give us like half of it or whatever. He's a character, I guess. He is a character in the stories. So Piccolo kicks him out at this point because he's like, I don't need you guys, but he doesn't kill them, so that's nice, I guess. Nice in Piccolo terms. We get to see Goku. He goes to Karen. I think that's how you say his name. He goes to Karen's tower to train, and he drinks some weird water to make him like pull out all of his potential. And then but I know later that it's like just like barely even a fraction of his potential. I don't know. Power scaling, you don't power scale Dragon Ball. Goku punch stuff good. He do. That's so true. Yeah, so we get to see that. He's training with Karen, or not really training. He just drinks the water. Piccolo is now king of the world, which is apparently an official position that he just goes in and takes over because it's like some cat guy who is king of the world, and Piccolo is now king of the world. So that's kind of weird. You get to see Piccolo is gonna execute a province every year or something, and it's like a lottery. And the first one is the Bulma city, whose name I can't remember. It's a good policies. I think he will make a very good king of the world, and I'm glad to see that he's enacting what he likes to do. Tien is practicing the demon seal because he is, I think, the only one to survive the original thing where they fought Piccolo for the Dragon Balls, because Chaozu also died after trying to and failing to shout out a wish before Piccolo could. So now we have that. So he's practicing to get the demon seal down, and it works, and he gets it. And it's like, okay, that's kind of based. Goku gets his cloud back from Karen because it's part of like a larger cloud, so he just takes it back. It was destroyed in his fight with Tambourine. So he gets it back, and he's ready to take down Piccolo. Wow. Tien versus Drum. Drum, I know Drum is one of like Piccolo's little minions that he summoned. Tien is going to lose, but Goku saves the day. That's kind of based. And yeah, Goku beats him like with no trouble, and then it's Goku versus Piccolo. It was a fun fight. I enjoyed it. It's like Piccolo was like, you can't beat me, and Goku was like, okay, try me. Goku wins barely. They're both very, very ragged. It was a tough fight for both of them. But Goku wins. Yay, he saves the world. That's so nice. And then Goku tells cat guy Karen, or Karen tells Goku to meet up with Kami, the one who created the Dragon Balls. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of based. Kami, God, whatever you want. I think they translate his name to God or Kami sometimes in the Viz manga, so I'll just say Kami. I think it's more appropriate. It feels more like a name. There's Mr. Popo. Everyone loves Mr. Popo. He's great. So he fights Mr. Popo and loses because Mr. Popo is apparently insanely strong, and he teaches them a lot of things, and so Goku can get even stronger than his full potential that the water got from him, and to where he was already stronger than Karen. You don't power scale Dragon Ball. You don't try to power scale Dragon Ball. God is Piccolo, but not evil. So yeah, so Kami is Piccolo, but like he got rid of all his evil side, and that became Piccolo, like the evil Piccolo. So Kami and Piccolo are the same person. Kami is Piccolo, Piccolo is Kami. It's an interesting thing. I kind of knew that was going to happen, but it was interesting. And he revives Shinron and promises to train Goku to be the evil Piccolo, where he just makes a little statue and like blows life into it. It's interesting enough, I guess, if that's how Kami's power worked at the time. Though I think later it's revealed that the Namekians make the Dragon Balls. So maybe Piccolo and Kami, referring to Kami, not Piccolo like Piccolo. Maybe he had a different method. I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess, whenever we get to Dragon Ball. I'm very much looking forward to it. So he just revives Shenron, no problem, promises to train Goku and beat the evil Piccolo. And then we get everyone is meeting at the next Tenkaichi Budokai. Oh yeah, because they revive Shenron, and then they get all the Dragon Balls, and they wish everyone back to life. It's like, okay, cool. Everyone's alive again. That's kind of based. So Goku is training with Kami right now. I have to remember. So I read the Saiyan arc of Dragon Ball Z, and so I have to like fish out like what's different from there versus what's in Dragon Ball. So Goku is training with Kami right now. You get to see Goku has grown. He's almost full Goku. That's true. It's good to see Goku be like an adult now after so long of him being a kid. But it's fun while it lasted. You get to see that young Piccolo is here. Tien, Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, Tao Pai Pai, Chi-Chi, Piccolo, and Shin make it. Shin is Kami, obviously. I thought he might be Roshi or related to Roshi somehow. Whenever I first saw him, Tao Pai Pai is a cyborg now. That's the word. Goku forgot who Chi-Chi was. That's kind of sad. That's a little bit sad, and by sad I mean completely understandable. I expected Chi-Chi to have a bigger role in Dragon Ball. Like maybe not like a huge role, but I expected her to be in like more than 2 scenes basically. I guess she was in 3 really. Just interesting. We get Tien versus Tao Pai Pai, so Tien wins handily. So it's like, yeah, no, we're past Tao Pai Pai, and even if he's stronger, it's like, no, we're past him. His power scaling doesn't matter anymore. It sucks. Go die in a hole. You get Goku versus Chi-Chi. Goku wins easily. He remembers who she is, and then they get married. So it's like, okay, based. Goku likes women. Good to know. We get Krillin versus Piccolo. Piccolo wins. Can't kill Krillin because that disqualifies him from the match, and he wants to fight Goku like in the match. But Krillin has gotten stronger. I think that fight did a good job of showing how much stronger Krillin has gotten. While still having him lose to Piccolo, because it really did feel like Krillin got stronger. It's just Piccolo is just such a massive force. I think they all trained with Karen at this point for these 3 years before the next Tenkaichi Budokai. You get Yamcha versus Shin. What a surprise Yamcha loses. Man, Yamcha wins one fight, in the entire series, I think. Maybe 2 if you count him knocking out Chi-Chi. But that's not much of anything. So Yamcha loses. Whoa, uh-oh. Is Shin Kami? Yes, Shin is Kami. Hold me, that put that note. Goku versus Tien. Goku wins easily. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool rematch. We didn't really get a rematch of Goku and Roshi in the second Budokai Tenkaichi. The Tenkaichi Budokai. I don't know why I said it the other way. I don't know. Don't ask me. I thought this was a really fun rematch, and to show just how far above Tien Goku is now, while still showing that Tien has improved a lot and is still insanely strong. But it was just fun. And then we get Piccolo versus Shin. And Shin Kami tries to seal Piccolo, but Piccolo seals Kami and then eats the vial. It's like, oh, well, that's not too good. Because they like Kami. But then Shin, his body's released, and he goes, whatever. It's whatever. Piccolo's eating Kami. Now it's Piccolo versus Goku for the final round. I was honestly pretty hyped for this fight, and I really enjoyed it. Insane fight. I still think Goku versus Tien is probably my favorite fight in Dragon Ball. But Piccolo versus Goku here is really good, too. So they start off by testing each other and then get in the real deal. They're just kind of trading punches, kind of seeing okay, this. It's interesting, kind of showing the fighting prowess of both of them. We've gotten to see Goku's journey, but it's this Piccolo, he's still intimidating. He said he's stronger and all that, but now we get to see it. Goku takes the jar from inside Piccolo and gets Kami back out. I think also during the Tien rematch, Goku took off all his weights and stuff, and people are like, "Whoa, that's insane! That's crazy!" Whoa, that's insane! That's crazy! It was a cool enough moment, I guess. We get to see Goku takes so Goku takes the jar from inside Piccolo and gets Kami back out, because Piccolo can apparently just grow if he wants to, and he grows, and Goku's like, "You can't grow bigger," and then he does, and Goku's like, "Lol," and then he takes Kami back out, and then Kami's back. Yay, go Kami! Piccolo can nuke places because of course he can. I will say all the stuff they do here definitely does not seem reminiscent of a 400 or less power level. I will say it's just very interesting how they decide to power scale stuff later on. The power creep is real. I think that's the term for it, is power creep. Goku has the super Kamehameha. I think that's how someone pronounced it once. It's funny. Kamehameha. Goku has a super Kamehameha. I can't remember exactly what it does, but it certainly does something. I think it repels one of Piccolo's little blasts there. They're both tired. Goku almost defeats Piccolo, but he comes back and immobilizes Goku. Goku evades his last attack by flying because he leaves him with one arm. Surely that won't be enough. Or maybe he doesn't leave him with one arm, because maybe the first Piccolo left Goku with one arm and then he beat him. And then this Piccolo didn't, and so he got up. And so he beat him by flying because he mastered that technique. Knocked him out of bounds, defeating him. And Goku finally won the Tenkaichi Budokai. I really liked this. I thought it was a fun little moment where it's like, okay, he's finally won. I can appreciate that. I can really appreciate that. Goku finally winning the Tenkaichi Budokai, especially after, three times or 2 times of losing on the third time. It's like, yeah, that's really nice. I really like it. Goku heals with the Senzu Bean. And Kami's about to kill Piccolo, and Goku's like, "No, stop, that's not cool." And then he feeds Piccolo a Senzu Bean, and then Piccolo revives, and it's like, well, that's kind of whack. Kami offers Goku to become God, and Goku refuses because that seems boring. Him and Chi-Chi are married and fly away on Kintoon, which is, I think, the only time I've ever tried to pronounce that name this entire little series, and that is Dragon Ball. Next is Dragon Ball Z. Like I said, I've already read the Saiyan arc, and I really, really enjoyed the Saiyan arc. So if you are a person who has watched all 3 of these videos, which I doubt there are any of you, but if you are, hey, hi. My next series, Dragon Ball Z, I think I'm going to be doing with Kyle, or at least doing a lot of it with Kyle, because he's familiar with Dragon Ball and grew up with it. And when I say Dragon Ball Z, I know I've had to make the clarification here because I'm talking about the original Dragon Ball as opposed to Z. But he grew up with Z and all that, and he's caught up with Super, and I'll be reading Super after Z. I'm not going to get into GT. I'm not going to get into the movies, just because I'm not too interested in those. If Kyle and I ever want to do those later, we maybe will. But yeah, no, I'm going to go through all of Dragon Ball. I told myself that, and I'm going to follow through on it. I really enjoyed Dragon Ball. I think it's a really fun little series. I think it's extremely solid in a lot of areas. It's a fun little adventure. It starts off at. And, it's wacky. It's a gag manga. I won't lie to you. And there's a ton of stuff that just kind of happens. It's like, yeah, I guess that happens. And then, we get more into fight with the red ribbon stuff. And that was still, I think, the weakest part for me. I just didn't really care about the red ribbons or anything really there. It was cool to see kind of Akira Toriyama kind of get more used to fights and stuff like that. But it just wasn't my favorite. But then we get back into Tenkaichi Budokai and everything with Piccolo. I was like, okay, then this is really good. I really enjoyed seeing the fights evolve. But honestly, my favorite part of Dragon Ball that I've read so far is the Saiyan arc of Z. I'm very much looking forward to talking about that with Kyle and telling him my thoughts and everything. So, if you're this far in the video, obviously there's something you like. So be sure to like and subscribe and check out Goobers and Screens Book Club every Monday. Me and Kyle talking about a series. As of the time of recording, it's Hunter x Hunter. After that, we're doing Bleach, and after that, we're doing Naruto. Wow, how's about that? I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all will be in store for the next one, which I have no clue what it is, since this is going to go up in like a month or 2 from when I'm recording this. But it will be up eventually. We'll see you all then.